Welcome to From the Editor with Larry Gordon, where newsmakers unpack the stories shaping the Jewish community.
Okay, hi everyone. Larry Gordon and Esther Gordon here on our weekly or twice weekly or whenever we have an opportunity podcast
Bi-weekly.
called, used to be called From the Editor, and we're now calling it Between the Lines. But we have to thank our viewers and our listeners. They're putting up great numbers, and the reaction and the response has been really great. So Esther, you want to kick it off?
First, let's talk about the Super Bowl, which is this Sunday evening, 6:30 p.m. New York and South Florida time.
I didn't
This
know that.
year,
I didn't know you know so much about the Super Bowl.
well, I do have four sons and a husband that every single game that's on is always on.
No, not
Basketball,
anyway.
football, not that much hockey though. Yes,
You
baseball. Anyway.
know what? They're bigger hockey fans than anything else. But let's put that aside. You just keep going.
Okay. This year, the New England Patriots are facing the Seattle Seahawks. If you're in Israel and want to see the game live, it starts at 1:30 a.m.
That means it's 6:30 p.m. in New York and Florida.
Exactly.
1:30 a.m. in for football
Israel.
fans in Israel. You got to really, if you want to see it live, is you talk about 1:30 in the morning to at least 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning.
And I'm sure there are a lot of guys that are going to be doing that.
Yes, the hookah bars are going to be busy with the large screen TVs. So, but go ahead.
Okay. As you most know,
It's
we'll
a good
have to
thing.
cut that.
It's a good thing you read this before you
No, I
started reading.
can't read your handwriting.
Okay, listen. Okay.
As you must know, the Patriots are owned by the noted Jewish personality and philanthropist Robert Kraft. As
Right.
usual, aside from the game itself, more than anything, there are two other aspects of the Super Bowl that are discussed in a great deal. One, of course, are the commercials that go for millions for a 30-second spot. And the
8 billion.
second,
8 million. $8 million.
oh, 8 million. Wow.
$8
For
million
8
dollars.
million a
Wow.
spot, 30-second spot.
Right.
And the second is the halftime show that
Right.
features performers at the halftime in something or someone called Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny.
Yeah, Bad
Uh,
Bunny. He's
must
a
know about
rap
Bad
singer from
Bunny.
Puerto Rico.
Yeah, people have been talking about it all week. Everyone's anticipating how bad the halftime show is going to be.
We did some research in YouTube to see what the Bad Bunny is about
He's not.
here, and one
He's
of
not.
the findings
Esther,
is no
he's not.
talent.
He's not the Bad Bunny. He's not the Bad Bunny. He's Bad Bunny.
He's Bad Bunny. And the one thing we found,
I
the
like
one
to
thing,
use. I like to
the
use
one
President
thing
Trump.
we agreed upon this morning, which is very unusual in itself, is no talent.
Yeah, I have to tell you, as President Trump would describe him, it's just stupid. That's all. That's what he would say.
Do you remember when they had amazing halftime shows?
Yes, of course. I remember when they
I
had Bruce
remember that.
and they had Coldplay and they had even Rihanna wasn't bad. You know,
I think they had Bruno Mars too once.
Bruno Mars was an excellent show, very memorable.
He
But
actually has a great
know,
song out there now.
they gave the halftime show over to Jay-Z. So this is being broadcast and recorded and being sent out to the world. So you got to tiptoe around your criticism. So anyway,
Okay, so really
what else
what we
do
want to
you have to say?
talk about, what we really wanted to talk about this morning is we saw a commercial on a day ago, and it was Robert Kraft's Blue Square commercial.
Okay, so
And I think very highly of Robert Kraft. I think he's doing amazing work. You always see his name on fields in Israel, donated by Robert Kraft. But something about the commercial, for me at least, it bothered me.
It's
something
a good.
about it.
Let me pick it up from there. It's a good commercial.
Okay,
The motivation, the objective is to
great.
bring the concept of anti-Semitism to the world. Don't forget, you have I don't know if they fudged the numbers or not, but you have hundreds of millions of people watching the Super Bowl around the world, and a lot of people don't even know what anti-Semitism is. They don't know that it's so widespread. They don't know that it's growing. Believe me, a lot of the world doesn't know that we have a monster named Zoran Mandami, who his main, even though the snow is 10 feet high and the garbage is 12 feet high in New York, and luckily, of course, we haven't seen it, only the pictures, because Baruch Hashem, we're in Florida. But outside of his criticism of Israel and denigrating Jews, he hasn't accomplished.
Well, he did visit somebody today that tried to knife a police officer. Didn't visit the police officer, but he visited the guy that tried to knife the police officer.
Well, that is the theme of what his administration is going to be like. He is going to be supporting and creating empathy and sympathy for the bad guys. If you're brought up on Batman or Superman, then you know there are good guys and bad guys, and he's going to be highlighting the bad guys as good guys. And let's get back to the Robert Kraft commercial, which has been on Super Bowls for the last few years. We're going to play the commercial.
Loser. Dude.
Did you see that? Should we tell him? So bad.
Oh, bro, look at him. Oh my gosh.
It's not funny. Stop.
Do not listen to that.
Thank you, man.
I know how it feels. Nah. They're not worth it, bro.
Yeah, you're right. I was tripping.
What's your name?
Name's Dave.
David?
Yeah.
Hello.
What?
The idea is to call attention to anti-Semitism and to condemn it, and to the extent that you can, regardless of kind of influence you have, whether it's just yourself or whether it's just your family or it's your community, to be aware of the fact of the growth and the spreading of anti-Semitism and how to combat it. You combat it. He takes a blue square. The campaign is about a blue square. Robert Kraft's blue square. He takes a blue square. He covers up the part
word.
where it says "dirty Jew." So, what don't you like about it? You said a couple of things that you didn't like about it.
I don't like the fact they make this Jewish kid about like 5'2". They made him into this, like, to me, it looks like a meme. A 5'2" little Jewish kid with curly hair. I didn't, very nebuchal. And also, what happened is there was one part when they were turning around and saw those guys again, and this kid, this supposedly Jewish kid, turned around. He wanted to,
Go take
say
him on.
something or do something, and this Afro-American boy, 6'2", says to him, don't do it, it's not worth it.
Yeah, so they're trying to create. It's only a 60-second commercial. It's about anti-Semitism, but there's a whole
Different story going on.
There's a whole combination of subliminal messages that are
Right.
being
I don't
passed
like
along.
the messages.
The African Americans are the friends of the Jews, and they're the peacemakers. And that may be true in individual cases, but generally speaking, it's not the case. Okay.
Right.
So,
Right.
I mean, people may disagree with that, and you're free to comment on it down below.
And his name was Halal.
Well, I know, I didn't catch that exactly.
Yeah.
So, he said when he said his name was David, a typical Jewish name.
The
Jewish
supposedly
kid,
Jewish kid is David.
the other kid, the black kid, the African American
It should
kid
have been
said,
Goliath.
no, he said his name was Halal. Oh, maybe I just
Right.
realized it now. Maybe he was trying to
Right.
say that, yes, he's black, but maybe he's a Muslim also with a name
Right.
like
They try to get it all in at once.
Yeah, so they're trying to get this
The
message
message.
across. It's important to bring the idea of anti-Semitism to the world.
Can I say
You
one
know,
thing?
you could say two things. Go ahead.
Okay. For years, they would always say, oh, yes, there's anti Semitism, but there's also a lot of Islamophobe. No, 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 no. Please don't put those two together. There is anti Semitism happening. How many cases were there? Cases of people going into the mosques and blowing them up, as much as what's going on in the entire world with the Jews. Don't put them in together. It's not the same. Let's discuss anti Semitism for whatever it is. Let's not bring in halal, Islam, not the story here.
We mentioned it yesterday in a meeting that we had with some people that we're going to be discussing in future podcasts. But one of the things we brought up was about the interview we did with Raphael Shore a few weeks
Right,
ago, and we discussed the idea of stop using the word anti-Semitism because
right,
most of the world doesn't know what it means anymore.
right,
Anti-Semitism is about hating Jews. It's mindless, baseless Jew hatred, and we should call it that instead of covering up with fancy little words like anti-Semitism or
right,
anti-Zionism, which is a euphemism for anti-Semitism. It's
right.
Jew hatred, and you call it Jew hatred, and there's no
If, ands, and
rationale.
buts.
There's no logic. There's no rationale to any of it. Anyway, this is a commercial you could see online. It's all over the place already. It's going to be on the Super Bowl, I guess, maybe more than a few times on Sunday evening. And if you see this after the Super Bowl is over, because these podcasts remain online for eternity, then you can always go back and see it because it has already passed in time. Anyway, let's get to the next subject. The next subject
Yes,
is we want to talk about something that an exchange that Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri had with a doctor, an OBGYN, in
right.
Senate hearing last week or 2 weeks ago, where he asked the doctor the question, can men become pregnant? Okay, so I'll
She
let you.
would not answer that. She would not answer that. She
So we're
kept
going to show.
jumping all over the place.
We're going to show that video. It also runs about a minute or so. We're going to show that clip. Maybe it runs a minute and a half. In case you didn't see it, it's the exchange between Senator Hawley and this Dr. Verma, and she could not answer whether men can have babies.
And you're here as an expert, called by the other side as an expert, and you've been telling us that you follow, right, you're a doctor, and you follow the science and the evidence. So I just want to know, based on the science, can men get pregnant? That's a yes or no question. It really is, I think.
I think you're trying to reduce the complexity of a lot.
I'm not. I'm trying to get, it's not complex. I'm trying to get to an answer, and I'm trying to test, frankly, your veracity as a medical professional and as a scientist. Can men get pregnant?
I think you're also conflating
This is
male
extraordinary.
female with
No, I'm not conflating male and female. They're two different things. There's biological men and there's biological women. And I want to know, can men get pregnant?
But I know what she was trying to say. I don't know if you realize what she was trying to say. Men obviously
Biological? Are you talking about the biological?
biologically, men cannot have babies. That's clear
Well,
biologically.
she refused to say that.
No, she wasn't saying it. She was. See,
Right.
they make a dichotomy between sex and gender. Okay, there's in terms of sex, there's male and female, and there's no dispute about that. Okay, even I would tell Senator Hawley probably could have been more specific in how he asked the question, because when she was answering him, she was trying to say that there's multiple genders. If you ever went to a doctor's office for the first time and you filled out 32 pages of paperwork, they give you like 14 different categories they ask you whether you're male, female, all kinds of different options that you can check off. They want to know what your gender is. What this doctor was trying to say is that you can only have, it was clear she was trying to be politically correct, it's clear you can only get pregnant and have a child if you're a woman, if you're a female. But you could become pregnant and have a baby, and in your head, in your gender, so to speak, not your sex, your gender, you can consider yourself a man. Hence, the result of that issue, that discussion should be that, yes, someone that considers, a woman that considers herself a man can have a baby. That's the direction that they were going in, which is nonsensical, but that's the direction they were going in. But I think you, as a mother of 6 children, you probably could testify that you were the one that had the children, and none of your daughters who have had children had anybody but them have the children
And
as
their
well.
husbands are not disputing it.
So far,
Exactly.
so far is a perfect record. So far, no man has ever gotten pregnant and had a baby. So I think that's an interesting clip to watch, and also testimony to what's going on. Now, finally, we want to discuss Holocaust Remembrance Day, which was observed a few weeks ago, and
Right.
comments by Vice President J.D. Vance, and then also comments by Secretary of State Marco Rubio.
Right.
Okay. Now, even though it's 2026 for about a month now, you would think that the presidential election of 2028 is going to be taking place in the next few weeks. But the
Right.
fact of the matter is, it's 3 years away, and the new president taking over in 2029 is when they get inaugurated, January 20th, 2029. It's quite a distance away chronologically. So some people have a favorite. Some people say J.D. Vance is the vice president, so it's automatically his if he wants it. And others favor Marco Rubio. Now, you have a favorite, and
Can I? Yes. So,
you can explain. Yeah, explain it.
with first of all, with the video that I got on WhatsApp about what JD Vance said, he completely never mentioned the 6 million Jews that were
Yes,
slaughtered during the Holocaust. Now,
on
that
Holocaust
says a
Remembrance
lot.
Day.
When you don't say something, you're saying more. That's number one. And then part of that video is they show up, Mamdani said, and Mamdani doesn't love the Jews either, but he did at least mention that there were 6 million Jews that were slaughtered. Now, my problem with JD Vance, I was on JD Vance's team. I thought he was great when Trump picked him, and I was very excited. I think I'm very, very uneasy about him now. I think his affiliation with Tucker Carlson says a lot. Um, he never once came out against him, which is very unusual. And by the way, I like the way Trump is really putting Rubio in the forefront with everything. He keeps
Yeah, so
talking how great Rubio is.
yeah, it would seem on the surface at this juncture anyway, that even though J.D. Vance is the vice president, that Trump, who's president obviously, is leaning in the direction of Marco Rubio. I've written in the paper, by the way, and I'm of the opinion that I believe that at some point over the next 3 years, Rubio, probably in about a year, I think right after the midterm elections, Rubio would be stepping down as Secretary of State so that he could begin campaigning to run for president in 2028. And then he's going to be primarying against
JD
J.D. Vance,
Vance,
and so will others. Ted Cruz is
Ted
going to be
Cruz.
running, and I think Governor Youngkin, former Governor Youngkin of Connecticut, is gonna want to run. I think it'll be a very vibrant Republican primary, while the
As opposed to the Democrats.
Democrats are stuck with
Newsom.
Newsom. What's his new? Yeah, just Governor Newsom, and pretty much stuck with him. He's like the chosen one for the Democrats at this juncture, anyway. So that pretty much covers a lot of what we have to say. We did it all in almost 20 minutes, which I believe is good. It's concise. Anything else you wanted to discuss before we finish up? No?
Not at this time. There's always
Okay, so
tomorrow.
at this point, hopefully this podcast will be out before the Super Bowl is broadcast on Sunday, which is, I believe, February 8th. And I think it's the 8th. And you could either look at the podcast from the vantage point of before the Super Bowl or after the Super Bowl. I do want to add one more thing now. That is that there are a number of organizations that are having their own halftime shows, so that people don't have to sit there if they're
Subject
watching.
themselves. Really?
Subject
Who?
themselves to Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny, you know, besides being a rapper, the talk about, which I only heard driving in my car with the radio on,
Right.
he's supposed to be wearing a dress while he's performing on Sunday night. Did you hear that?
I heard that. I also heard that he doesn't want to perform in, I think it's in New York, because he says
Well,
he's afraid that ICE is going to come and take his band away. And I'm thinking to myself, well, if they're all legally there, nobody would take anybody away. And if they're illegal, why are they in your band?
well, first of all, number one, they should pre-record the music in case they get taken away in the middle of the show. That's one option. That's one option. Second of all, if they're taken away in the middle of the show, that might be a better halftime show than the actual performance.
Who are you going for? The Patriots or the Seahawks?
Um, Gee, I hope we got it right. I hope the Patriots and the Seahawks are really the teams that are playing.
I
Are
know
they?
the
They're favored.
Patriots are.
No, I did. I did look it up. I know the Patriots and the Seahawks are playing, and the Patriots. I don't know who's the favorite, but I'd like to see the Patriots win because I'd like to see Robert Kraft
Me
be a winner.
too.
I think he deserves that. And the fact of the
Right.
matter is that after Tom Brady retired, they thought it would be like a 10-year rebuilding process for the Patriots. But here they are with a rookie quarterback, and they're back in the Super Bowl. So, you know, it's all, I don't want to say that the Super Bowl is Siyata Deshmaya, but God is not, doesn't get busy with other stuff. He can be involved in everything. So, you know, I think it will be great to see the Patriots win, and we will have some further comment on it in next week, when we can analyze our analysis. So in the meantime, that's this week's Between the Lines podcast from the offices of the Five Towns Jewish Times in our South Florida location. We're afraid to come back to New York because it's, I don't know,
But we are.
it's scary, the weather forecast. Do you see what, I know this weekend, 4 degrees, 6 degrees, 8 degrees. What is that?
We'll be
And
there next week.
we'll be there next week, but it's going to get warmer next week. The snow's going to be melting next week. So we'll be in touch with you from New York. If you see this before Shabbos, it's Thursday here. If you see this before Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom. And if you see it after Shabbos, Shavua Tov. Larry Gordon and Esther Gordon, thank you for joining us. Have a great day.